scared to death. I'm literally shaking all over. I'm so scared I can't move. Because it's the unknown.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Come on, sleepyhead. Rain's all gone, we got fish to catch. Come on, soldier, keep up. Come on, catch up.
It was a beautiful day. I'll never forget the day. Just the sound of the river. You know, there's something about the sound of the river. It just calms you and relaxes you. Everything stopped. It was like a slow motion time warp. All the crickets stopped, the frogs stopped, everything stopped when that splash hit. But you can tell it was something very big because it went deep in the water and then the water explodes back out. And then you hear the rain down of all the other water coming. We don't see anything.
What was that, Grandpa? What was that?
Nothing's floating in the river. You don't know what to think. Your mind's racing trying to figure out what the heck could have caused that. And I was asking him, what was that, Grandpa? What was that? Because I'm scared a little bit. You know, it scared me. Grandpa said, well, maybe a rock rolled off the cliff or an old rotten tree branch fell. But where it fell, I'm thinking there's no way because where it fell was out in the middle of the river and there's no trees overhanging the river. We were a little bit on edge, you know, because something just happened we couldn't explain. It couldn't have been more than a minute or two, and then my grandpa jumped up out of his chair, and I looked at his face, and he had a scared look on his face. His eyes were wide, like, you know, really wide, like he wasn't believing what he was just hearing. It was guttural. It came from way deep down, and it just echoed through the whole frickin' canyon like you can't even imagine. I mean, you could feel it just hit you. I was frozen with fear. Grandpa, his eyes were like he wasn't believing what he was just hearing. I'd never seen that look on his face. And it scared the hell out of me.
Get to the truck, boy! Get to the truck! You heathens better knock it off or I'm gonna shoot!
I got behind the tire and I looked back at my grandpa because I heard the shotgun. The howl was like louder and more directed at us. I hear something come through the limbs of the trees. and I see a huge freaking boulder 15, 20 feet in the air. It was something a normal human could not have thrown. There's no way. I was petrified, and I was peeking around the bumper, just can't believe my eyes what I'm seeing right now. The trees just start shaking. The tops of them are just crashing together. You could follow its path from the tree movement. They were probably 60-foot trees. I don't even think a person could do that. That's when I caught visual sight of it. The chills went from my head to my toes like that. The trees just start shaking. And I see a huge freaking boulder 15, 20 feet in the air. It was something a normal human could not have thrown. There's no way. I saw a figure over there, at least 7 to 8 feet tall, covered in hair, maybe 400 or 500 pounds. Looking at it from a child's eyes, it was huge. It was big, way bigger than my grandpa. And like I said, my grandpa was a very big man, 6'4", and it dwarfed him. I estimated to be 7 or 8 feet tall. And I've seen plenty of bears and stuff. It was not a bear. It walked just like a person, but it was smashing trees like this as it went through. Just grunting and growling and hitting trees and making the most hellacious racket you could ever imagine. My grandfather's about 20 yards from me as I see him aiming the shotgun. I knew at that point he saw what I was seeing. I'd never seen that look on his face. I've been shot at, been in riots, never been that scared before. He was looking at the creature and then he looked at me like that and he said, "Get in the truck, boy."
Boy, get in the truck!
That's the only time I've ever seen my grandfather run.
Hurry up!
He knew that that thing could kill us with no problem.
Come on, son, get over. Come on.
He said, "Son, we're getting out of here. That thing is not of God."
Come on! Come on!
And he slaps that thing in gear and we just burn out of there. I mean, as fast as that truck would go. He's not saying a word, he's just driving us out of there. I couldn't stop thinking about and running the whole thing back over in my head over and over at what I just saw. is the most scary thing I've ever been through in my life. And to see him scared, Mr. Unshakable, Mr. Our Family Rock, it scared me even more. He drove around for a little while, and I guess he was trying to gather himself too.
Son, you probably ought not to tell no one about this. People think we're crazy.
We kind of made a pact together not to tell anyone. Me and my grandfather never talked about this story, even up until the day he died.
Hey, you done good today, kiddo.
It took him over 30 years to share the story with anyone, and then he didn't share it with anyone until 2 weeks before he died. I grew up in the woods, and I spent a lot of time in the woods, and it took me a long time to go back in the woods. And even to this day, I still don't feel comfortable in the woods, and I never go in without a heavy firearm with me. Until you actually experience something like that, you think it's all a bunch of hogwash. But until you live it, it's a whole different ballgame then. There's stuff out there we don't understand yet. There's still things that we do not understand. It changed my life, really. An experience I'll never forget. There's monsters out there.